Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm here playing Ironsight. It's a 6v6 modern military shooter using a freemium model that went into open beta this year. Now, the biggest question a lot of people are going to have about this game is simple. Is the game worth your time? And the quick answer is, well, probably in some cases, probably not for most people. It suffers from a lot of the same problems that similar games in the past have had, games like Ghost Recon Online or Blacklight Retribution and other premium shooters. Though maybe not as severely, and let's talk about some of the goods and bads. So when you're talking about positive aspects for Ironsight, the big thing is that the gameplay itself is fairly tight. It's a Call of Duty-esque hit-scan arena shooter with a variety of weapons and familiar game modes. Nothing about it's really going to blow you away, but the shooting feels good, the movement feels good, maps are pretty intuitive, and there's plenty of ways to customize your loadouts to suit whatever your playstyle happens to be. Kill streaks are present, but aside from a hovering gunship that tends to hover around your spawn and just annihilate everyone, nothing really feels overpowered or game-breaking. This is one of those games that tends to develop a small but loyal following, but for some reason you never really encounter anyone outside of the game or the official forums who will admit to actually playing it. As far as freemium games go, the biggest egregious sin is pay to win, and it doesn't really seem like you can really buy yourself a huge competitive advantage here. The default kits offer competitive weapons and perks, and I found myself not really feeling like I had lost firefights due to limited choice in weapons as opposed to an enemy. I also never really had to question whether or not I was bested because an enemy was better or because he bought better equipment. In my mind, that uncertainty is the worst part of any pay-to-win system, and I didn't encounter that feeling while I was playing Ironsight. Now, the publisher does have a track record of including pay-to-win in previous titles, so tread with caution. Alright, so despite good gameplay and a fair freemium model, there are a few negatives associated with this game. The biggest one you can tell just by watching the video, and that's the game looks good for a game released in maybe 2008. It's using DirectX 9, and it quite frankly doesn't hold up to modern standards. If you're looking for a game to challenge your GTX 1080, this game just isn't it. But if you're running a budget PC and have a limited budget for games, and you're craving a competitive shooter, this can give you a decent looking game at a good frame rate. But that's all you're going to get is decent. It very much looks like a free-to-play Korean game. With that, the cosmetics are currently very limited. I'm sure eventually the developers are going to add a pretty wide array of cosmetics, since that's a freemium game's primary source of revenue, but currently everything just looks like the same shade of generic near-future military shooter. Nothing really stands out as being unique or genre-defining. It all just feels like well-tread ground, and I honestly haven't seen anything yet that would be worth your money. And speaking of worth your money, loot boxes. They're everywhere in this game. This has been a trend in Korean gaming for ages, but American markets have really been pushing back against it hard for the past couple years. Quite frankly, Western audiences just aren't as conditioned to tolerate that kind of model. Loot boxes have been considered for a while to be anti-consumer, and they kind of remove player agency and introduce an element of chance that a lot of people just aren't willing to tolerate. You can definitely get guns and equipment through gameplay, but be prepared for that good old-fashioned freemium grind. You can also rent guns for a day to try them out before you buy them, but it's clear that the intent and the setup of this game is geared around getting you to buy as many loot boxes as possible. The last issue I have is more of a personal pet peeve, but one-body shot kill sniper rifles are present in the game. Now, it's been a while since I've played a Call of Duty game, so I don't know if recent trends are moving away from that. And maybe that's part of the reason why I'm not so willing to tolerate it. But when you're using hit scan mechanics, a one-shot kill to the body just removes a lot of the skill involved with sniping. Maybe it's because I like calculating bullet drop and travel time, or because I think the only surefire way to kill someone should be a headshot, or maybe just because I've been spending so much time in Battle Royale games. But either way, it's kind of a deal breaker for me, and if it's a deal breaker for you too, then steer clear. Overall, I've played the game for a couple of days and not really found any reason to grab this game over a Call of Duty, where a few bucks up front will get you a single player game and save you weeks, if not months, of grinding to get all the equipment. But if you're extremely budget conscious, then at least this game will offer a fair competitive experience right out of the gate, and overall just, a fun gameplay experience. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and if you want to see more of this type of content, don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe, and be sure to check out some of my other videos. I've gone ahead and put a link for the download in the description of this video, so if it does look like the kind of thing that you're interested in, surf on over to the website and give it a try. It's a free game, it won't cost you anything more than an hour or so of your time. With that, I'm going to leave you here with a little bit more gameplay, so you can kind of just have some fun, make fun of me bumbling around with a sniper rifle. And I'll see you guys next time.